So I represent Chickpea Press, and what we're trying to do at Chickpea Press is promote a holistic approach to religious studies, and really it's a heart-based approach, essentially, a lot of it, an experiential approach. So first of all, what do I mean by holistic Islam? Well, for me, Islam is a holistic path to human completion. That, for me, might be a definition of Islam. In that Islam attempts to bring us to a state where we're fully human, essentially. It tries to awaken and nourish a range of human faculties. And within this range of human faculties, some which might not be recognized, for instance, or acknowledged by the secular world, or even mainstream Islam, ignores many of these modes of knowing, modes of being, and modes of experience and expression. One thing that springs to mind, saying which springs to mind when I speak about holistic Islam is Hadith Qudsi. The heavens and the earth cannot contain me, only the heart of my faithful servant can contain me. So this is, those of you who don't know, this is God speaking through the book. Peace and blessings upon him. And it really gets across, within Islam, the vastness of the conception of what the human being is, and the almost stupendous possibilities within the human being. And Islamic education really needs to step up to that vision. Because within the human being, the Islamic understanding is that the human being contains the entire universe. The human being is a microcosm. And if the human being polishes his or her heart enough, for instance, through various spiritual practices, they become capable of reflecting the divine qualities, qualities of God, him or herself. So the human being is like a pole, essentially. On one end of the pole, we have the individual self. At the other end of the pole is pure spirit. And God's qualities emanate from the far end of this pole down towards the human individual heart. It can be reflected there. So the potential within the human being is extraordinary. And within Islamic spirituality, we often speak of the 99 names of God, which describe the qualities of Allah. We say 99, but 99 is understood to be a symbol really of infinity, because God has an infinite number of qualities. But the 99, there's a sense of completeness in that. The symbol of 99, of course, automatically makes you think of 100. There's always one more. If you use, that's why it's symbolic of infinity. There's always more. But within the 99 names of God, there is such completeness, such a sense of wholeness, that it occurred to me one of the best ways to teach Muslim children about the faith is through the 99 names, because they'll get such a complete picture of the faith. And the other great thing about the 99 names is if you teach the faith through them, it becomes more poetic, more symbolic, and more importantly, more concrete. Because often religious education can be quite dry, analytical, and if you're speaking about metaphysical subjects, it's very difficult to capture the imagination and be engaging. Whereas if you use the 99 names, because they're manifesting in the natural world, everything in nature is a beautiful reflection of these divine qualities. The religion and spirituality starts to come alive. And of course, we can start to explore the human being as well, because the human being is the most perfect reflection of these 99, of these qualities. So it becomes an education in the faith, an education in the outer world, the world around us, but also an exploration of the inner self. And when we begin to look at the 99 names, we really get a sense of love being the foundation within the Islamic vision. And this is so important in this day and age. If I had one hope for the children of today, it would be to really take ownership of a sentiment like this from Rumi. Rumi says, "A life lived without love is no life. It adds up to nothing. In reality, we should be ashamed of any moment that passes without love." And this really should be the basis and the starting point of Islamic education. And the 99 names corroborate this, because the first name in the list is Ar-Rahman, which can translate as the compassionate. And it's understood to be the gateway through which all the other names emerge. So what I've done throughout this presentation is just give a few sample spreads from the book so you can see the way we set things out. We tried to make it very colourful. We've used figurative art. And generally we've had a really good response to that. We've not had any negative criticism. It's been brilliant. We've also tried to be as inclusive as possible in the images we use. So, for instance, we've used people of many different skin colours, women with hijab, women without, just to make it as inclusive as possible. So with Ar-Rahman, we say this name means the compassionate. To be compassionate means to be full of love and kindness. And Ar-Rahman is the gateway through which all the other names flow. It's God's compassion that results in everything we know. And once we've established this basis, we feel we can really go on to move on to the other qualities. Because love enhances and completes everything else. And knowledge without love is not true knowledge. To really know and understand something, there needs to be an element of love. A work of art which wasn't created with love has something fundamentally missing. So if we begin here, we're beginning on solid ground. And with each name, we have reflections and activities. So we try to take an experiential approach with these questions that we pose to children, because we don't want to just tell them what to think and feel, a list of do's and don'ts. We want them to really examine their own life. So for instance, the first reflection we have is, can you think of a time when someone showed compassion to you? What happened and how did it feel? And a second one, can you think of a time when you showed compassion to somebody else? Why did you do it? And how did it make you feel? So really examining their own lives, so it really becomes more alive and more engaging. So once we've established that foundation, there are many more names, I'm sure most of you know, which really are almost synonyms for love. So there's the compassion, mercy, the forbearing, and so on. Once we've done that, we try and explore perhaps different modes of knowing. Within the Islamic tradition, there's something called tafakkur, which is contemplation. But it's not understood in a very restrictive sense, which it may have come to mean in the modern day, in the West especially. It's a balance of critical thinking and a more intuitive knowledge. I think perhaps within secular education, we sometimes reach critical thinking. Actually, more often than not. I've been a teacher in secondary schools. I know that often we're basically spoon-feeding students. We're not really, it's quite rare often that they get to a stage where they're using critical thought. If we can get to that stage, that's only half of the picture, because there's another mode of knowing, which is completely ignored generally, both within secular education and perhaps unfortunately too in religious education. That's the knowledge of the heart. The heart being this receptacle of divine qualities. And there's an intuitive knowing we can start to nurture through certain spiritual practices, which we'll come on to, and certain ability to reflect and examine oneself, one's own inner world and one's experiences. So hand in hand with this balance of an intuitive approach and a rational approach, which I would say is fundamental to a holistic Islam, is cultivation of the creative imagination. Islam has such a rich tradition in the arts, poetry, music, in physical arts, also in dance. When we think of the whirling dervishes, beautiful art, deeply spiritual art form of worship. And we really need to cultivate these, because I've found throughout my life, and you may have found this too, that the most effective way of learning is through being creative. It's often through play as well, interesting. Montessori approach is really insightful, I feel, the Steiner approach. And the Muslim world can learn a great deal from these approaches. And there are examples of Muslim schools which are beginning to do that. So they try and teach children through play, through creativity, and also through an understanding that every child is different. It's not about spoon-feeding the same information into each child. It's about understanding where their strengths lie. Because Islam understands that we have innate qualities. Each of us is born with innate qualities. In fact, we may even personally manifest a particular divine name in our existence here on earth. And the role within a genuine, authentic education is to uncover what those qualities might be within the child. Again, we give an introduction to the name, the signs of the name, which the child will find within the natural world. So again, it becomes more concrete. It's not left quite dry and abstract. And then we use verses from the Quran, and then often there will be a verse from a great saint or a sage from Islam. Here we have Hadith Qudsi. And then the reflections and activities which I want to draw your attention to. We're trying to tap into this more intuitive mode of knowing. So, for instance, we say, take a blank piece of paper and sit quietly in front of it for a minute, imagining all the possible pictures that you could draw. Does it give you an idea of the creativity of our poet? We're often asking children to use their creativity to draw, to write poems, to write short stories, to help them engage with these divine qualities and cultivate them within themselves. But here we just ask them to stop before they even do that, and just encounter that stillness and that quiet within themselves, that void which is full and complete and is ready to well up from the heart, if you give it time and the patience. The second reflection activity, we ask, everything is created by our Khalik for a reason. Keep asking Allah why you were made, and see if an answer grows in your heart. We need to be encouraging our children to develop a personal relationship with God. To understand that religion is not just about salah, certain ritual forms. It's about that very personal, intimate conversation which you can develop. Third point we asked children to consider, can we explain what caused the Big Bang if we don't believe in God? So here we try and develop critical thinking. So we're addressing the popular scientific theories of our time, and just helping them to learn how to develop a critique of them, to think about, because that's a major question, isn't it? I mean, there's a miracle at the very beginning of the atheist's understanding of creation, which isn't acknowledged. So that's just an example of the kind of balance that we're trying to achieve between critical thinking and a more intuitive approach. So we're also trying to really also get a more holistic approach to spiritual practice. So often we're very familiar with Salah, Zikr, Dua, but often we're leaving out these two really important sections. Meditation, Muraqabah, as it was known, was practiced by the Prophet and his companions, peace and blessings upon them all, after Salah. And one of the divine names is Muraqib, which means the watchful. So Muraqabah means developing a state of inner watchfulness. So we really need to be teaching our children to do this, because modern studies have found that meditation not only increases student well-being, it also increases student performance. Cultivating our being helps us become more effective doers. And also self-reflection, muhasabah, which is related to the divine name of Hasib. It's a divine name which you might translate as the reckoner. So it's about taking a reckoning of oneself, one's own inner motivations, and so on. This is the thread related to that, and I'll just quickly look at what Shem says, which helps children to really understand what self-reflection is about, what it means to be a Muslim. Shem says, "Tonight I'm going to visit a Christian because I promised him. We are Muslims, he is an unbeliever, come with us," they said. He said, "No, he is a Muslim in the depths of his heart because he is surrendered. But I don't see that surrendering in you. If you have not surrendered, he may be more of a Muslim." So it's really important in the pluralistic societies we live in today, we start to ask children to consider what it means to be a Muslim, and also to reflect on what the Quran says about Christians and Jews being very capable of virtuous behavior, and that they will be rewarded in heaven for it. And Islam, help to understand that Islam really was a radical interfaith movement when it came. It was very much a spirit of inclusivity. Christians and Jews were brothers and sisters. I don't know if I have a little bit more time. Is that it? 2 minutes? Okay. Another really important idea is I kind of look at social awareness in one sense, in terms of we don't just want to build toleration of other faiths and religions. We want to build respect and appreciation. That's really important. It's not enough to have toleration. But turning to the gender balance, that is really important in our time. And we're trying to fill this book, for instance, which the 99 Names of Allah, we're trying to fill it with as many female voices as we can. So within the book, you'll find quotations from Khadija, from Fatima, from Aisha, from Rabia, Shawana, and many more, because it's so important because Islam has such a rich treasury of female voices if we just take the time to find them. One book that was really, really a big benefit to me doing research for this one was Women as Supers by Camille Naminsky, which I recommend to everyone. And the divine feminine is really awakening right now across all the faiths, and people of no faith as well. The divine feminine is welling up, and it's finding expression, and needs to find more expression within Islam. So, it's an example of that. Here's a quotation from Rabia. "Oh God, whenever I listen to the voice of anything you have made, the rustling of trees, the trickling of water, the cries of birds, the flickering of shadow, the roar of the wind, the song of the thunder, I hear it saying, God is one. Nothing can be compared to God." Beautiful poetic wisdom. And this ties into the next, one of the aspects which is really important to draw out in our time, and that's ecological awareness. We're living through an environmental crisis, and Islam, as we all know within the Quran, has so much to say about that. So many passages exhorting us to honour nature, to see the wonder and the beauty of it, and not to spread corruption on the earth. So that is really vital, and we really pains to build that sense of ecological awareness in all the resources we create that should be present. But finally, it's so important that we build an appreciation of mystery and nuance. Children have to learn to be comfortable with uncertainty. We don't want to fill them with fixed ideas, rigid dogmas, which they're not able to question. Islam is an incredibly flexible path, and we need to help our children be comfortable with that. So I think actually I'll end there.